This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious.
And fergalicious.
That's not the only thing we know now beyond all reasonable doubt.
What are you gonna say, you son of a bitch?
I know.
My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene.
My
First
guy.
off, irrelevant. Second
Yeah.
off, on her way to Japan. What are you going to do about it?
Literally,
I
like,
know.
That's what you're gonna make a big deal out of right now? Fucker?
But more importantly,
Japan
He's
is
gonna be
not
like,
a nation.
he's gonna be like,
I've done what I wanted to do. Prove that Japan sucks.
God damn it.
That was the whole point of this trial for me.
good Lord, there's more, Lord Van Zieks.
The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer.
Okay, but like we've definitely proven.
But
Gina's
his testimony
innocence.
that this proves that it was Gina is out the window, so...
Yeah.
Glad we all can go home. Yes, that's right.
What?
I was there at the scene. It's true. And I was shot in the arm. It's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Typical white guy. Claiming he's the victim.
He's
No!
the victim.
I don't believe this. But they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Iris?
You know what they say. There's no point locking the
It
cat's
looks like
door.
I've gotten away with it.
There's no point locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted.
Do they say that? I'm sure that's a phrase. I've just never heard it.
Isn't that right, Runo? As Hurley always says, there's no point locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted.
Yes, you already
You
said
just
that,
said that.
Iris. And
One
as I
lie.
always say,
And as I always
Your Honor, I
say,
think my-
Hurley
I think
always
my-
says,
Your Honor, I think my little girl is broken.
one lie begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
Make no sense. What do you mean by such a remark?
What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known.
Yes.
In other words, there is a fundamental inconsistency in your statements.
What?
He's like, you can't prove it.
This is provocative talk, counsel. Please proceed.
Oh, yeah?
You want some provocative talk?
The prosecution has no objection to the provocative talk. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency.
Iris was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something that he shouldn't have known anything about. Namely,
The bloodstains on the
Blood
coat.
stains on the coat.
yeah.
Because he's claiming he saw the instant of the murder and all the blood fly on her coat through the people.
Exactly. The bloodstains that were present on Miss Lestrade's coat
That's right. The victim's blood splattered all over her when she shot him.
Graydon,
No,
were you
no,
just
my
paying
point
attention?
is you shouldn't know that.
Were you paying attention? But how could you possibly have known that?
Obviously, because I saw her do it through the peephole in the...
You dumb fuck.
Shit. Can I ask for a lawyer?
The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie that you concocted that is so revealing.
You're not making any sense.
Then
No,
let
that's
me ask
you.
you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon,
Losing.
that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously, I... Has the cat got your tongue, witness?
Oh, Judge, that was a good one.
I'm in on the joke now. You can find me at the Chuckle Pub.
I've got a whole new brand of cat jokes.
I'm doing this whole cat tennis crossover thing.
The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windibanks constantly, carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
Well, yes, of course. The place is chock full of pond articles, and my lads have to thoroughly examine them all. So I gave the order to have officers working round the clock in shifts so we can get through it all.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the peephole in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door.
How on earth is that possible?
He has X-ray vision.
Could I have a word, please, Lord Van Zeeks?
Why did they do a question mark, if it was just going to be Greg's?
Because it was a plot twist, Zach.
Plot twist, Greg.
Speak, Inspector.
Woof woof.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you. Permission denied. Oh. It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes. Of course, sir.
Mr. Graydon. Are you going to say you're guilty yet or what, guy? Come on. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Stop there, my learned friend.
Wait, did Gregson? Was that what they were whispering about? Is Gregson trying to get him off?
Oh. Whoa, that would be big.
That's a good twist.
Yeah. Hey, chat, I know what you're thinking. Don't go there.
No,
You realize
What?
they're thinking it.
Yeah, I know. Too late. It's too late.
Thoughts have been thunk.
You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications, don't you, Zach?
What? I was just trying to say that he got him off. Yes. But the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And, in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person that could be.
Who is the person in question, Counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony?
Gregson.
Wow, yeah. Fucking get him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Eh? Me?
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend.
Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learnt of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess. While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communications station.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea, no inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned?
Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the peephole. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position. That he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder.
You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information? So that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin?
Exactly. And the only person with the knowledge of this investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson.
This is a bloomin' outrage! Why would I be giving away details of our investigations to this fella, eh? I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that?
Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery.
Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after proceedings resumed, following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred.
Except they totally did, my guy.
Just remember something, Bruno.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh, yes. Now that you mention it, when the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilded's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it! It was during that testimony. Yeah, literally. I remember finding it strange at the time.
We literally called him out on it.
Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then.
You little toe rag! You're making all this up! I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that?
I don't know, you tell me.
Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this bloke?
Admittedly, you wouldn't have had any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense.
What deal, Counsel?
I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for the details about the peephole at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance.
Well, I...
Oh, it was the second disc, I bet.
Yeah.
It's becoming clear. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. That jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's speciality.
I don't do that.
But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
Evidence?
Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal.
If Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, then logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it!
Bruno, do you think it could be?
Yes. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle. We found mankind's earliest ancestor. The missing link.
I must press you for an answer now, Counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness?
Probably the box.
The first disc or the box?
That says it's. I feel like it's the box.
Click on the description
might-
of the. Click on the description of the other one. That's the.
That's the first.
None of them mention
we only
anything
have the one
about-
disc. Suppose Winterbank's 2 days before the black coat. I mean, it can't be anything else.
No, it's either the music box disc or the music box. I mean, the disc is technically the thing. It's just not that disc, but the disc
Yeah.
is
Right.
technically the object. So I think I'd go with disc.
I think so too. It looks like it's only going to lose us 1 point if we get it wrong.
Yeah.
So let's just go with disc first. Hey, music stopped.
Okay, cool.
Inspector Gregson, besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case?
What are you getting at now, Sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice.
How the bleeding Nora could you?
We discovered, during the course of this trial, the music box deposited at Winterbanks by Magnus McGilded, a special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in Mr. McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets.
Gotcha.
So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for the details of the case.
You little. Ah!
Order! Order!
On the day of the incident, when we met you at Winterbanks, you said this.
I'll do
I'll be
anything
tight-
to get that disc back, even give a criminal evidence.
I thought it was weird at the time and oddly specific, but
But now it appears that my great memory comes in handy.
I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over.
No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, that is! Mine!
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Scotland Yard already knew at the time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets.
My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry,
Medium, that's,
so that
happens
she
later.
could channel the spirit of the dead prime minister to reveal all our government secrets, and do it on the QT.
What did you call me?
Strictly hush hush.
Did you call me a cutie?
No, blush.
Blush.
And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't that sure of it myself. I realised there was a possibility, that's all. Inspector, surely.
It's actually Gregson, sir.
Surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony?
There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the peephole. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
No! Ah!
Synchronized surprise.
If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom.
Wait, what? In this room? How could you possibly make a claim like that?
Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
What?
What's that supposed to mean, eh?
As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious, then you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc actually on his person?
I love it. He's just like chilling, like
He's
he has
like-
no reaction.
His face
Yeah,
is
what
I
of
don't
it?
get paid. His face is in
Yeah.
pure I don't get paid enough for this shit mode.
I didn't. I just said,
Yes! The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once!
Definitely. They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Gregsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately!
Well, Inspector?
Yeah, I don't care. Do what you want.
All you're gonna find is an
Just-
infinite supply of fish and chips.
just don't take what's in me salty pockets.
But you
This
can't,
young la-
because it's infinite fish and chips. You'll keep finding some, but you'll never get to the bottom.
This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me in my profession quite enough. However, if it will put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search.
What? He's going to agree to it?
I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now teeter, my learned student friend.
I mean, now I'm shocked.
You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end.
You don't get to make that
And my-
call, by the way. I do. I'm the judge.
Actually, no. Fuck it, you can make that call. I'm now a tennis cat comedian.
There's a huge market for those.
And
They're
my-
the big thing right now.
And my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
That seems like a really bold thing to say.
That sounds serious.
Indeed. to have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Runo because you're scared.
The accusation
Absolutely terrified. You are correct.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. The disc must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have...
Oh,
I like how weird.
it's-
I like how
I
weird
get
that
it, I know.
presumption is, though.
I know. Can I say it? Can I say what it is?
Sure, I don't... Yeah, what? Is it in his fish
He
and
put
chips?
he put the disc in Nash's coat when he was shaking him.
Oh, very smart. Very smart.
That's what.
I
That's
believe you are correct.
that's why he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that was weird. I don't know why I did that. I guess I just
Yeah.
lost control for a second."
I guess I just went crazy.
Somehow, something doesn't quite feel right here.
Very well, Counsel. You know the implications. So let me ask you one final time.
Which one of these 4 gentlemen do you want us to strip search?
They will have to get nude in front of everyone.
Well, shit, now I kind of
Is
want to
it-
say Graydon.
Is it risque Ringo, naughty Nash, the steamy inspector?
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
I love the
Search
fact,
someone
that,
else,
the fact that that's
nerd.
even an option. Like, actually, no. Can we look at somebody else, though? Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted.
Well,
Don't say you weren't warned. But your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good. Fair enough. I've got nothing to hide.
very well then. Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector.
I was getting worried for a second there,
I
but
know,
I
we're
had
like,
selected
we
the wrong
we-
option.
We clicked the right thing,
Yeah,
right? I
I
just
was-
could have sworn I
I
saw
was
you.
genuinely getting like, did I fuck up?
Are buttons not real?
The defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson.
What? Now, what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
Don't flatter yourself. No, no, Inspector. Not
That'd be
you.
so funny if you said that.
Somebody else.
What's the meaning of all this, eh? Lost it? Lost it at last, have you, sunshine? The court shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
See, now I'm wondering if we find out Gregson did this, is he gonna still be an inspector in the second game? Chat, don't say
Yeah.
anything, but I'm
Yeah.
very
I have a wild, outlandish prediction that I will say because I don't think it's true. And those of you who know the answer, don't say anything. But again,
You think the other
in no
detective will
way
show
do
up?
No, what I think is that Gina is going to become a detective
Oh, just because of Lestrade name.
just because of her last name. Yeah. Again, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
I think the
It does
issue that
seem
if,
wild.
if
It does
If
seem wild to
Gregson-
let them have a 16-year-old become a detective.
here's the thing, if Gregson's
seems
doing
very
this on
anime.
if Gregson's doing this on Strongheart's orders,
That's true.
then he's not going to get in trouble for it.
That's true.
be quiet, all of you.
It was
Oh.
Iris.
All right, we need a throat clear, Pridge.
Sorry about that. Runo's doing what you all told him to do, and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because if you don't, I will shoot you with my real gun. what you don't realize is my real gun is an exact replica of the other gun.
That would be
So which
So you'll
one am I
never
shooting you
know.
with?
Yeah.
You don't know until the bullet's been fired. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I meant to say because that's the British way.
Colonialism?
Shooting people with two guns.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next words. You what, mate? Don't be hasty, my lord.
If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure that I know who has the disc at the moment. There's only one person it could be.
Counsel, of whom do you request this search now?
Windibank's rotting corpse.
Wait, can we bring in Strongheart and have them check him out?
Oh shit! I mean, he might be the hottest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who do we want to strip search?
I wanna see what
Strongheart's
he's
a good
working
answer.
with.
Yeah. Listen, if Damon Gant's anything to go off of,
Oh, this dude's
like
jacked and...
the intimidating superior officer. Ooh,
Yeah.
let's go.
No, but it's Nash. Sculkin.
Yeah, that's Nash. The only explanation for the weird shaking thing.
Of, my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Of my lord, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
thank you.
But, well, I didn't know you thought of me like that, Counsel. Let me go ahead and strut my stuff. Well, I'd never.
Hey, me, him.
That was good.
Very well then, bailiff. Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects. All right. Please, my lord. Inspector, Scotland Yard has to object to this search. Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here. Eh? In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object. I also can, I think. No, shut up, Your Honor.
No one was talking about you.
Oh.
But Lord Van sakes.
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial. Ah! Bailiff, carry out the search.
Wah.
Wah!
Now, hold on a mo. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc. Cut it out!
They really are like strip searching him.
Ah!
Here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. I found
I mean,
these.
they're gonna play them both together in this court, and everyone in this entire room is gonna know what the British government is doing.
I mean,
That's true.
everyone in this room who can understand Morse code.
That's true. I guess just juror number 5.
Oh
now.
shit!
I
Yeah,
guess just
no.
rated at juror number 5, who are the ones who send them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they'll
not
just be
good.
learning what they already know.
Watch fucking villain Bolshevik
Oh my
understands
God.
Morse code, and he's
Yeah.
like,
You
Yes,
fools, you've
yes.
given me all of the British secrets.
Now I will destroy your country. Because luckily my country is going to be very stable for the next 30 plus years. And we'll be able to mount a very unified, stable attack under the glorious rule of the Tsar.
I will do
If
to
that
you.
were to happen.
If that's were to happen.
I will do
luck-
to you what I did to the not the Bolsheviks, the Romanovs.
Oh
Hey, I think
shit!
there's-
Where's
hey, I think there's-
Anastasia?
I think they're still around right now.
Yeah,
they're
that's-
still
that's
around. They
fair.
got about a
Just
couple.
barely.
They got like 20. Because I mean, they last till the end of World War One.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got about 2 decades left, and then they will all be mercilessly gunned down.
Pretty much. Very terribly. Very brutally.
Very brutally.
Good lord, that's another music box disc.
I don't know nothing about it. Nothing.
All right, actually, please play it again so I can do another Rickroll edit.
So
That would
you
be
can recall the
hilarious.
audience again.
That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson?
Yeah!
Order! 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 Mr. Skulkin, what have you to say for yourself?
Gordon Bennett. Gordon Flaming Bennett. I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal that was struck was between this witness and this detective, no?
Without question, my lord.
Then for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Because, my lordship, he's a master thief.
He's Lupin II, actually.
Ah?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure.
What has given you that impression from any of our conversations with him so far?
But at
He's
one
at the
particular...
beck and call of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
We're acting like we're super close with Gregson. We know all about his personality. We don't.
I don't recall. What unusual behavior? Ah,
It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
I admit to nothing of the sort.
While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently.
Yeah, he didn't know. Thought me noggin was gonna fall clean off, I did. I was wishing I'd been born as me brother, I was.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me whistle like that and started shaking me. Why the blazes didn't you mention the third gun when got you down to the station? That's what he said. Yelled it right down my ear hole, he did. Me head's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Well, bless my wig. I mean, my real hair. He hid it. You. You. Pew, 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 pew,
Wow,
pew,
fucking
pew, pew.
Soulja Boy reference in 2023.
Yeah. Let's reset the counter on Soulja Boy references.
But I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after,
He did it for obvious reasons, come on.
why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket?
Because he anticipated me trying to search him.
This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
No, because he really does not want us listening to those discs.
Yeah.
He has made that very apparent.
It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that. Why have I not? As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions. My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush.
Hush, hush. Top secret assignment, is it?
As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if that information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
It would be problematic. We would find out that the British government was doing bad things. I know. I can't believe it either.
Never would have guessed.
India, they've been nothing but nice and kind to the people there. Literally any other colony, so good, on their best behavior.
Everyone loves us.
Gregson's just sweating like,
Just look at our museums. They're all gifts that were provided to us. Because we're so kind.
No one's ever tried to violently throw off the yoke of our generous control.
Good use of the word yoke. And an egg at Benedict's
Yeah.
presence, no doubt.
I'm operating under direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question. So, realizing there was a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness.
Ah, does that mean...
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him. To slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretense.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor, please.
Well now, Inspector Gregson. And you, Mr. Graydon. Are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of this alleged deal?
Admit to it. Yours truly, please.
I'm so mad. Mr. Graydon!
Clearly, our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination.
What are you talking about? I've been right about everything.
Yeah.
However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole?
I'm under no obligation to explain.
What? What?
Yes, I lied in my testimony, that I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with the detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of that is about.
You what?
Mate!
Yeah, infamously dorky in the chat says, just take the L, Eggert. Seriously, we've ratioed you so many times. Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc? Yeah, why the fuck would he, Ryan? Like, come on.
Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I am acting in the best interests of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice.
Oh, I wish I could view this through the stereoscope.
Stop.
So, as members of the public of this fine country, just ignore everything that's been said today. I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you're making your decisions.
I do love that he's trying to appeal to them as being like British citizens when
Oh,
literally
yeah.
one of them is
Fucking-
not British.
I do not care
Nationalism.
what happens to your country.
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings.
Well now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathise with the old inspector. Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character. Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really.
Graydon is a highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop.
Damn it. I hate
Oh,
that
look
she
at
loves him.
Zach. Zach, I'm
so
sorry.
mad. I'm so
I'm
mad.
sorry.
Taking
I'm
an L on
sorry,
this
Zach.
one.
Yeah,
Or she's
everybody.
not gonna be able to date him when he goes to jail.
I
Sure,
know.
can swoop in there.
Everybody, get F's in chat to pay some respects to Zach for his lost love.
Thank you.
The detective has very much trust in ice. More than this, I cannot say.
I don't believe it. These 6 jurors are. They're
What do you
going to
believe, Comrade
Gregson?
Moskowitz?
If they declare their decision now,
Ginny going to be found guilty?
if I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Either some proof that Mr. Graydon killed Mr. Winterbank, or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness.
Well then, counsel. I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court.
If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty.
Because they're all bootlickers
They are.
who worship their fascist masters. So there's no choice, Runo. You have to throw some more evidence at them. Literally throw it.
And knock them out.
This
And
is
then
it
they
now.
can't make a decision because they're unconscious.
It all comes down to this. Who do I present the evidence against? Gregson or Graydon?
Oh, wow.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
I actually don't know. Let's go to the court record on this one. So something that will prove
Oh,
that
wait.
Graydon killed him,
Damn, they don't.
or
I say,
something that will get
if the
Gregson
second-
to admit.
If the second disc was in our thing, but it's not.
No, that's.
Yeah, it's nothing.
I mean, the thing here is. Okay, like I know the answer, so I'm gonna let you guys think about it more before I say it.
Right.
I mean, if there's like a
oh wow, those are
hint-
those are
Yeah,
sharp. Holy
yeah.
shit.
If there's some sort of. That's the one that we already have. That's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just in the box. Okay, wait.
Should we satisfy the fans and examine the cat flap? We've had like 14 comments about it.
Alright, we'll examine
That's
the cat.
fine. We'll examine the flap.
Where do I examine on it?
I don't know if it would get.
Oh, there we go. The handle.
Oh shit!
Oh Jesus!
Jesus, that could murder people, Ginny. Not Ginny. Iris.
There's
That could kill people.
there's vicious
That's
teeth look like they could rip
terrifying.
through almost anything.
They're good, aren't they? They're made of a special alloy I developed just for the job.
You're also making your own alloys? Like what
You're
the
making your
fuck?
own fucking Wolverine claws? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
cutter rotates 10 times per second, so it can get through any kind of door in no time at all.
Holy shit!
What are those two parts at the top there?
Ah, those are for attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out.
Right, of course.
Nothing can match this machine for power. It can make mincemeat of even the toughest of doors.
It sounds so charming and friendly when you say what it's for, but feels like the reality of the cat flapper, Matt, is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction.
The heist's so adorable, there's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Even developing deadly weapons.
Yeah, again,
Wagaha is just like,
definitely the villain.
yes. Develop more weapons of destruction for me,
That's incredible.
little girl.
Okay. Just start from the beginning. Let's just look at everything. Okay, so armband,
Something that
no.
would prove that they...
What's the one thing that someone is trying their hardest to make sure doesn't get out?
Oh, is it just you present the box to Gregson and say, let's play the thing?
Hey Wes, you're right.
Hey!
Oh, really?
Yes.
Inspector Gregson.
Is it so we're like threatening to play
Yes.
the thing?
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
We are going to force Gregson's hand. We are going
Okay.
to force him to reveal the truth by doing the one thing he cannot let happen.
Gotcha.
Inspector
Okay,
Gregson,
okay.
there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
Aye? What's that then?
If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Well, go on.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit the deal he clearly struck with Braden.
Is that Mr. Begilded's peculiar music box console?
Yes, with the disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well.
Goodness, this disc console? Hold it!
No, wait! I can't let you do that!
Why not?
Because, well, because it's got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Not true, Inspector.
Eh?
The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that this second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
For crying out loud, Sunshine! We're talking about state secrets here! If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason!
Then do you admit to the charge that in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad! If you let that secret information out in the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot!
And let me win.
Let's not forget, Inspector,
Then I want to win.
that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie in court, and all because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
Yeah.
Oh, that was sick as hell.
That's a very good line. Yep.
That was pretty sick as hell,
Don't you
actually.
dare!
I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of.
Well, this is getting good. I need a drink
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
My lord,
This is getting kind of hot.
He literally just
please.
interrupted this to just
Yeah.
have him pour a glass.
The court must hear the sounds made by the music box.
Come on, Van Zeeks, for Pete's sake, stop him!
Yeah.
Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law, so let me propose a toast. To uncovering the truth, by fair means or foul.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, they're.
That's like awesome.
Ow!
The rare Van Zeeks W.
Uh-huh.
That puts his score at like 1 W and 8 million L.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well. The defense's stance here, and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request,
State secrets for everyone.
the court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more.
They're not gonna let
We're gonna
us
get
play
out.
it, right?
Hold it!
There's no
I mean,
way.
he's gonna go. Hold it!
I hope so.
This time with the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously.
Oh, is he gonna do it? No way. No way. Gregson, you idiot! What are you doing? Oh, listen to that. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code. All right, I admit it, whatever you want, but for the love of God, shut that blooming box up!
Yeah, 'cause has somebody ever translated what that is? Let us know in the chat. That'd be really cool. If they were like, at this date, the government will be doing. I don't know, like it's just something.
I hope it just has like, you spent. Why did you actually determine this?
Yeah.
You have too much time on your hands.
Yeah, it's a message to the fucking.
Just Doug's on you.
Bitter Cup says it said send nudes. That's good. That's good. Let me ask you again, then, Inspector Gregson. Did you, or did you not, strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector?
I did. Stop! What are you doing, man? It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after recess, and we were stood here in the stand together. That's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up!
Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed.
Why? My question is like, why did he have to make this deal with him? He's a fucking police officer. He could have just taken the fucking disc from this man who was about to be accused of murder.
Yeah,
Well,
couldn't
Gregson
let
is
that-
dumb, so.
that's true.
I couldn't let that information become public knowledge. Not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. The peephole in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury.
I did. But then it turned out that the peephole had only been made that night, after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime, namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Winderbank.
You... Traitor!
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh my god! What just
Oh shit!
Bailiff! Bailiff! Restrain that man! At once!
Oh
Crazy
shit!
for all to watch this.
That was good. That's it then. It's all over.
Gregson got
Gregson
strangled
is
to death.
dead.
That's what, I guess
Everyone
Gregson-
just watched it happen.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Nobody did anything. Because deep down, they all knew. All cops are bastards. Okay.
Oh,
this is-
okay.
Yeah.
I despised my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying, to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination.
But then you decided to try to sell government secrets. Why?
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, for real.
Dollar bills.
Yep.
Yep.
Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted those dollar bills. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And y'all, that dude had money.
Yeah.
You're a fiend with a queer talent, so you are. I've money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me little plan now.
I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings, how easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing.
Yes.
And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child.
Yes. Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier.
I told him I go by Eggert Benedict now, and he laughed a lot.
Oh wow, I don't think we've gotten a fucking
No.
Now, this is
Mason's
cool.
voice.
Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh?
He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made.
Music box discs, eh?
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I've brought the score with me. There are two, actually.
I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft.
That's how I had him make the two discs.
Thereby splitting the information in two. You were taking considerable precautions indeed.
It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Oh, how furry they were. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas.
Damn.
You really, I guess, no, really small upfront payment, bro.
So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of the deal? The exchange of the second disc?
Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
The rich always are.
But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded, and not yourself?
When I received the 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said this to me.
Next time there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore.
That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the discs I'd asked to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night.
Oh yeah, I guess there's no way we can know why he killed him, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gina didn't hear it, and the other two parties are,
Dead.
well, let's just say we need a Fae to find out
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything from them.
I'm guessing that it's probably because he wanted to protect his son.
I'm sure.
Milverton most likely
Yeah,
was
like,
trying
get my
to
son out
was
of
trying
this.
yeah was trying to
Yeah.
get him out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's very sad. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name.
That I would dance.
To exact revenge.
Did he kill?
Revenge?
Did he kill Wielded?
Oh shit.
Oh!
Did he kill Wielded?
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, shit.
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways.
building parks for children. Despicable.
Mother, I would much like to go to McGilded Park, no matter what they say. It is my favoritist of places, Mother. To crush any semblance of justice in this trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish.
My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest, completely unaware of the sinister background to it all.
I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then. So I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that.
Are you saying that...
I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved.
That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned... Oh, never mind.
That tragic accident that was executed 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly.
The restaurant, yours truly?
McGilded's death that day was caused by this man.
Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
So that policeman who came in to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right. An imposter hired by me. Did you not see him vent? McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell.
Damn, dog. It's pretty metal. Wait, is this cane fixed?
Shut up. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death.
A spine-chilling account indeed.
But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see.
A loose end?
Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded.
Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. I'm getting all this new art.
Yeah.
This is the first of the 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them.
Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guinea for you, young man.
What's this? Winterbank's pawnbrokery?
Aye, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name, just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend a watchword. I've put a jewel in pawn for you. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will.
I've never heard of a pawnbrokery being used in quite that way before.
Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault.
So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And that on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone.
Yes, to Gina. I remember now. That when we first met you at Winterbanks that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for?
From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket. So I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline.
And he was absolutely right.
And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Winterbanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilded's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. That all-important music box was the second disc inside. With the second disc inside was missing.
Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier.
But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing. We picked up on the fact that McGilded was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered so fast.
My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible.
I thought you were dead, man.
So we started gathering the fellas' positions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard. We had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I become nervous.
Oh,
0 out of 10.
Video game.
Literally unplayable. Wow.
Wow,
Got 'em.
big oofa doofa. Big oofa
You know what?
doofa.
Just for
Mixing
that,
up your tenses.
We're gonna play Apologistus next.
A game that we can guarantee has no
Has
spelling
absolutely
mistakes.
no
that's true.
typos.
I was sure the music box and the second disc was still there in the shop somewhere. So I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did.
So that's what prompted you to break into that place the same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers.
What happened that night in the pawnbrokery? I can only describe it as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I'd located the music box I'd sold to McGilded on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes. I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened.
What are you doing in my shop?
Bang.
Bang!
That's the
Oh, wait,
sound
this-
a gun makes.
This is my finger gun. That's one warning. Next time it'll be a real one.
A gunshot rang out in the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm.
The broker fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb.
Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case.
Who can play at this game
Yeah.
of guns?
And then I yelled
Bang!
at him.
Now, you better put away your finger gun, or I'll use my finger gun.
And the
Before I
Windibank
knew
said, "Oh no, I only put one bullet in my finger gun."
Ah,
well, I'm
shit.
fully loaded. I have one question for you. Are you feeling lucky, punk?
Fuck, that's really funny.
Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, I'm an incredible shot.
It activated my aimbot.
The bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge.
A sorry, sorry tale.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized, even Rash or Ningo even realized what had happened at first.
is very funny.
Rash and Ningo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windibanks on that wretched night.
Bro, story cool. Can the jury declare my client innocent now?
Bro story cool?
Yeah.
Bro, story cool.
Objection!
No.
No!
Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking like, man, you're doing the exact same thing he did, aren't you?
You become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded.
Damn, kick a man while he's down.
Yes, I think I have.